That's not a plane. So red and white, and bright and dim, and there it is right there. That's it.
Okay. Tell us what the purpose of the program was and why it was so secretive.
Identify those things that we see, whether we see them electro-optically, we see them with radar, we see them as eyewitness reports, and try to ascertain and determine if that information is a potential threat to national security, in a nutshell.
So what did you find?
Well, we found a lot. Things that don't have any obvious flight surfaces, any obvious forms of propulsion, and maneuvering in ways that include extreme maneuverability beyond, I would submit, the healthy G-forces of a human or anything biological. Hypersonic velocities, low observability, positive lift, again, seemingly defying the laws of aerodynamics. I can't speak on behalf of the government, obviously, I'm not in the US government anymore. My personal belief is that there is very compelling evidence that we may not be alone, whatever that means.
Starting at an early age, I have had countless paranormal or supernatural experiences, but the ones that intrigued me the most were those of unexplained lights in the sky, because I had no reference for these experiences to compare them to. On multiple occasions, I have had experiences with golden orbs that seem to move with impunity throughout the sky, sometimes moving faster than the speed of light and without a sonic boom. These lights move around like gravity doesn't faze them a bit. However, obviously intelligently controlled, these lights never look to be craft, but more like playful animals moving about in the night sky. The subject of unexplained lights in the sky has not been such an easy topic to study, because for one, our government has been covering up these sightings for at least since early July of 1947, when a crashed disc was recovered in the desert of Roswell, New Mexico. Since then, there's been entire governmental agencies dedicated to feeding the public disinformation to defer attention away from this incident and related topics.
My supervisors told me, listen, we don't want him to go out to the public, go on camera and say, hey, I just tapped into a secret laser on Kirtland Air Force Base. Obviously, we can't have that happen. So all I had to do was say, well, you know what, Paul? Maybe what you did see was UFOs.
We have, in fact, been visited by beings from another planet.
It's not quite a smoking gun, but that hypothesis has not, so far as I understand, has not been taken off the table. So the debate is still being had. Is this Russia? Is it China? Is it our own tech? Or is it extraterrestrial? Everything is up for grabs, and we'll find out more, I think, over the next few months.
Although they aren't completely coming out and saying it, the media, as well as the government, are alluding to the fact that the origin of what we are seeing in our skies is extraterrestrials from another planet, even though we have been gazing up at the stars since far back as we can remember, even using multi-billion-dollar telescopes. Somehow these aliens from another planet seem to be using another highway other than the one going directly from their planet to ours. Now, I'm not saying that we haven't been visited by aliens from another planet in the past, just saying that the explanation for what we're seeing now is highly suspect.
They're concerned about the malevolence of certain human groups, and they are attempting to interfere or intervene in our evolution at this point in order to bring us to a point where we won't destroy ourselves because they're afraid that we might do that.
From Hollywood blockbusters to independent documentaries, the agenda that is widely accepted to be true is that these beings are our planetary brothers and sisters just trying to look out for us by making sure that we don't kill ourselves and the environment with our nuclear weapons. Although this theory sounds good, it's obvious that what is actually going on here is way more sinister. According to abductee researchers, one of the most commonly repeated narratives given to humans by said aliens is that they actually created humans from DNA of monkeys. Now, I really shouldn't have to go into this theory much, but all I'm going to say is if we came from monkeys, then why do we still have monkeys? Shouldn't we now be the monkeys? But I digress. In order to understand the truth, we have to understand where to look for the truth. For sure, you can't find it in the internet, and you can't find it in history books. And no, you can't even find it on YouTube. The only place that you can get the truth 100% of the time is by a divinely inspired document called the Holy Bible. Now, I can give you examples of why this book is truly divinely inspired, but I'm not going to in this video. However, the stories and historical events in this document have never been disproved scientifically, and they never will. Now, let's look at what the Book of Truth has to say about this phenomenon. First, it's important to understand who and what our enemy is. We all know that Lucifer is an angel, which is a celestial being of light, and is interestingly referred to as the morning star, or the shining one. How you have fallen from heaven, morning star, son of the dawn. You have been cast down to earth, you who once laid low the nations. I will put enmity between you, Satan, and the woman, the humans, and between your offspring and her offspring. Now you may be wondering what the offspring of the serpent is. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterwards, when the sons of God, or angels, came into the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. The Nephilim are the offspring of the serpent. It's also important to realize this verse in Genesis was written in the time frame of Noah, but we will get to that a little later. So they will mix with one another in marriage, but they will not hold together, just as iron does not mix with clay. Here the term iron and clay are referring to two types of flesh. I believe that this is speaking of angelic flesh and human flesh. The sole purpose of fallen angels having children with the humans is to destroy the bloodline of our Messiah, so that humans could not be saved. Many times when the Bible refers to angels, it speaks of them as beings of intense light, like a star. Or in the case of the prophet Ezekiel, a wheel inside of a wheel. It is clear that these fallen angels are seeding humans again, as in the days of Noah, but not to destroy the bloodline this time. Perhaps something more relevant to this day and age. Just as Jesus was the seed of God, so will the Antichrist be the seed of Lucifer. Jesus is clear about what this day and age is representing. For as were the days of Noah, so will be the coming of the Son of Man. This is also called the rapture of the church. What do you think? Are these UFOs really angels? Are they really trying to bring about the Antichrist? Tell me what you think in the comments down below. And until next time, may God bless you and your family.